Welcome back to Jeremy Kyle Investigation. Now, the Scottish Government is taking a momentous step to tackle their drugs death crisis. They are calling for the decriminalisation of all drugs for personal use, which would mean those caught with drugs for personal use would be treated and supported rather than criminalised. This radical technique comes as Scotland has the highest death rate in the whole of Europe. So could these proposed plans be something that could help bring down death rates not only there, but maybe something we should all consider? I'd like to be joined by Peter Bleksley on the panel. Do you agree with that?
It's a positive step, but it doesn't go anywhere as far as I would like it to, because what I think we fundamentally need, and we will have one day, is the complete legalisation and regulation of all controlled drugs. And it's only when we travel down that path, which will be difficult, I'm not going to say we're going to end up in some crime-free nirvana, because we won't, but we will be so better off. We will have less deaths, less harm, and hopefully the tragic murder of Ellie Edwards shot on Christmas Eve, the tragic murder of that beautiful young child, Olivia Pratt-Corbell, and countless other young people will be reduced dramatically.
Peter, I get that, but Dal, if you legalise it, unless I'm missing the point, doesn't that make it easier for bad people to consume even more and do even worse things that Pete's talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think, with all due respect to Peter, I think the idea that you legalise it and all these bad people who are killing children, killing innocent people, are suddenly going to think, oh, this is an opportunity, there's nirvana here.
Gentlemen, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but please forgive me. Mr. Carr and Dow, legalise and regulate. Do not separate those words.
Peter, you're being quite naive. With all due respect, you're being absolutely naive to think those people that shot that child and those innocent people are suddenly going to put their guns down. Right? That's what these dealers do. They're villains. That's in their blood. They're not going to suddenly think, oh, it's been legalised.
I guess my question is, if you legalise it or regulate it, Rebecca, do people think it's safer to deal or take those drugs? That's my question.
No, I think you take all the power away from them, don't you? If you are able to access those drugs through legal, regulated measures, you take all the power away from these awful people that go on to commit murders.
But you'll still be able to overdose people, won't you?
No, because they'll be regulated. The toxicity, the strength of these drugs can be regulated, and we can.
But Rebecca, Pete, you can regulate a drug. You're not going to stop people taking too much and dying, are you?
You can take.
There will, of course, be a percentage of problematic drug users, OK?
Yeah.
I'm not for a moment suggesting that there won't be.
Yeah.
But we have a far higher percentage of problematic alcohol users. And alcohol can be bought over the counter. When we beat the villains on price, purity and availability in this regulated world, I'm not saying they're going to start going down the job centre to get straight jobs. No, some will remain in criminality. But once we've wrestled...
Taking the power away from
Once we've taken the drugs industry...
With all due respect, I think that's for the fairies, really. You have got villains who are entrenched in making money, and actually, we've had a decriminalisation by stealth with cannabis. Because cannabis now, if you've got a small amount of cannabis, you don't get arrested, it's taken off you, you get a street warning.
Yeah.
What you do have is the idea that alcohol is on a par with cocaine, with heroin, I think is for the fairies. Cocaine, heroin drives crime. Earlier on in your programme, Jeremy, you talked about the level of crime. More than half of the acquisitive crime, so
burglaries,
burglary, shoplifting, robbery. More than half of it is in order to...
But Dal...
and the police can't stop it. Dal, I hear drug dealers, the length and breadth of the country and further afield, cheering you on. You're the drug dealer's friend. I am the drug dealer's enemy, because I want to take the industry away from them. You want to leave it in their hands,
Peter, if you think for one moment... Peter, if you think for one moment that you legalise it and all these villains...
And regulate.
Legalise it and regulate. If you think for one moment those people that have killed that child... Those people that have killed that innocent young woman on Christmas Eve, you think for one moment those villains, those people entrenched in crime, who are live and breathe criminality, suddenly they're going to put their guns...
Can I bring in the younger generation? Because one of the things that's obvious is that criminals use these drugs to entice kids into crime. And I guess what Pete is saying is, if it's regulated, if it's controlled, Do we grab power back from those criminals? There will always be bad criminals. Listen, I'm against legalising it, but I'm trying to look at all aspects of the argument. Because one thing's for sure, team, it ain't working right now, is it?
No, but I think the idea that somehow that these bad people are going to play ball is naive. And I think if you look at places like Portugal, where they've tried to do this, you still, in fact, this week, it's timely that you're doing this, even this week, the Portuguese authorities are revisiting some of their strategies.
Is that true?
What the Portuguese failed to do is completely legalise and regulate. They went to a bit of a halfway house. In fact...
So you would regulate and legalise all drugs, would you?
All drugs to...
Heroin?
Yes, of course. Like, heroin used to be available on prescription before the 1971 Misuse of Drugs Act, and we had a lot less heroin addicts. Come on, let's
Peter, it's still available on methadone drips. Lots of people are on methadone.
Yeah,
it's legally available now. And I think, see, the thing is, Peter, it almost sounds like a Brexit argument here, because you're saying Portugal didn't work because they didn't do it right. So how would you have done it differently? Because Portugal have been doing this for 21 years and it hasn't worked. They're now saying, look,
let the lady speak. Order.
No, but I think what we're also forgetting is that the people who take the drugs, we should reframe that these are not criminal elements. These are people with serious addiction problems who then go on to commit heinous crimes. So actually, if these things are available in a way that doesn't mean that they have to go and commit crime to access their drugs, they can then get the support that they need to, one hopes, regulate their use and not become addicts. That's the other half of this policy. It's not just about...
Beautifully put. And of course,
10 seconds.
Available from someone who doesn't want to take more and more and more and more and more.
Well, I agree with Becca, because I think we need... We distinguish between the people who are the dealers and we go after them, and then we support the people that are the addicts.
Listen, really interesting. Don't know where you stand on this. Thank you so much indeed for watching. Peter, Rebecca, Dal, thank you.